Hi guys, Neo here, and this is going to be a talking video about Dead by Daylight. So, sorry, no, gameplay, this is just going to be me talking. So, what I want to talk about is the fact that, this kind of always happens, a new killer comes out that I'm actually interested in, and then I go and I look at videos and I do all that sort of stuff, and I basically see what the new rumors are, what the new theories are, all of that stuff. Because I used to be more, okay, what's the next Dead by Daylight? What's the next theory? What's the next, fan stuff? All that stuff. And I stopped doing that after, I want to say, quite a lot of time. And like I said, new killer comes out, so I've gone back over stuff that I've possibly missed. And I remember I don't even know the name of it, but they brought out that weird kind of alien thing. Hopefully all you guys know what I'm on about. And basically it turned out that the theory is, and it's looking promising, that Dead by Daylight is planning or has thoughts about moving out of your typical horror genre. What I mean by that is, Freddy Krueger, Jason, your typical kind of horror, Candyman, stuff like that. And I saw a video, and I do apologise because it's quite late, so my brain's kind of not working, but I wanted to get this video done before it exited my mind. And I saw a road map, and I saw these polls on Twitter that Dead by Daylight has put out, and it seemed to me, yes, there was still a poll, your typical horrors, or horror franchises or characters, but also, there was anime polls now. Now, maybe that's not new. Like I said, I've kind of been out of all this stuff and really looking in depth. But then there was franchises like Jurassic Park or John Wick. Now, it could be that they're just throwing these in to spice stuff up, but these are big franchises. Really big franchises. And I'm seeing stuff fantasy, like Warhammer 40k, D&D. Like, this is kind of insane. And I was watching a video, and they were basically theorizing that the alien thing, I can't remember the name of it, but the alien thing basically was them trying to go out of typical, I don't want to say mainstream horror, but your typical horror. And I think, because let's face it, there's only so many franchises, and there's only so many horror franchises, typical horror franchises, that they either want to do or they can get the rights to. Let's face it. I think that they're gonna start going into fantasy. I think they're gonna start dipping into anime. Now, I don't know how the hell they do Jurassic Park. Maybe a survivor could see that. Maybe not a killer. Or a skin, right? That seems to be a lot of things that I'm seeing videos on now. Well, they don't necessarily have to do anything right from the ground, but it'd be a cool skin. So my thing is, and I don't think it'll be next year, because I think they have to plan so far ahead to try and get the contracts, try and get these franchises to go, yep, alright, we give you permission to do a whole franchise, or this survivor, or this killer. I think maybe start of 2 years time, maybe, we're gonna start seeing weird changes and weird switches with Dead by Daylight. And I just thought it was a really interesting thing, because Dead by Daylight, yes, of course, horror and the killers and the running away from the killers, but I think Dead by Daylight has built up enough faith with the raw, and don't get me wrong, sometimes they, yeah, you know, and look, I love this game, right, but sometimes they, yeah, right, let's just face it, sometimes they've not always hit it, and most of the time, at least in my opinion, they go back and at least attempt to fix their mistakes, which is amazing and brilliant, and all credit to them. But I think they're gonna start adding little specks, little flakes of these fantasy elements. And if they get to team up with D&D or Warhammer 40k, let's say they do, let's say they get the go-ahead for one of those two franchises. Wow, if they do, every fantasy franchise, or every fantasy franchise that is worth their soul is going to look at Dead by Daylight, and if they get it right, if they do it right, I think we are going to be entering a new era of Dead by Daylight. Yes, it will still be horror, yes, we're still going to get the chase, all of that stuff, but I think this game, if they are going this route, and I'll be happy with just more horror, I will, but if they do, this game could live for years, and I mean years. It's scary to think the realms, fantasy, the realms that will be opened up. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Do you think that this is just fantasy with Dead by Daylight, or do you think that we are entering a new era? Thank you so much. I'm gonna get the hell out of here, and I'll catch you guys whenever the next video is. Bye bye for now.